हेलो एवरीबॉडी, आज के इस वीडियो में मैं आपके साथ डिस्कस करूंगी मोस्ट रिसेंटली आस्क्ड कैबिन क्रू इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चंस या लेटेस्ट कैबिन क्रू इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चंस जो कि मोस्ट रिसेंटली पूछे गए हैं। आप बोल सकते हैं कि सितंबर 20 के बाद जो इंटरव्यूज हुए, सितंबर 2023 के बाद, उसके बाद से लेके अभी तक कुछ लोगों ने मुझसे इंस्टाग्राम में कनेक्ट किया, कुछ लोगों ने मुझे कॉमेंट सेक्शन में लिखा उनसे क्या क्या चीजें पूछी गई है। तो वो सारे क्वेश्चंस मैं आपके साथ डिस्कस करूंगी। कुछ क्वेश्चंस के मैं आपके साथ सैंपल आंसर्स भी डिस्कस करूंगी। अब सैंपल आंसर्स डिस्कस करने का बस रीजन ये है कि जब आप किसी और के आंसर्स सुनते हो तो आपको एक आइडिया मिलेगा कि आप अपने आंसर्स कैसे बेटर कर सकते हो, क्योंकि एक ह्यूमन टेंडेंसी होती है कि whenever you're listening to somebody, you make a conclusion as to how you can make your answers better or how it sounds. So if you feel like, ये कोई सही या गलत आपको मैं नहीं समझा रही हूं, मैं बस आपको ये डिस्कस करने का मेरा मकसद बस ये है कि व्हेन यू आर आंसरिंग, if you listen to me or if you listen to my answers, you will know how you can improvise on your answers. ठीक है, ये मेरा मकसद नहीं है बोलना कि आपको यही आंसर्स देने चाहिए, बिकॉज a cabin crew's job and a cabin crew's interview is all about your personality. But when you listen to other people, you'll get an idea how you can make your answers better, how you can improvise on your answers, and if your mindset is also similar to what I think or how you think differently from my mindset. ठीक है, सो बस यही है। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। कुछ के मैं सैम्पल आंसर्स जैसे कि मैंने बोला डिस्कस करूंगी, कुछ के मैं नहीं करूंगी जो सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी है, या मैंने बहुत सारे वीडियोस बनाए हैं रिलेटेड टू कैबिन क्रू इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चंस एंड आंसर्स से रिलेटेड। एक प्लेलिस्ट भी है, आप वो सारी चीजें चेक कर सकते हो। बहुत सारे आंसर्स मैंने उसमें डिस्कस किए हैं। तो इन ऑर्डर टू सेव माय टाइम एंड सेव योर टाइम एज वेल, कुछ क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स मैं नहीं डिस्कस करूंगी, वो आप उन वीडियोस में देख सकते हैं। ठीक है, तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। मेरा नाम है रचना एंड वेलकम टू माय चैनल। ओके, सो द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, इफ यू हैड अ सुपर पावर, व्हाट वुड यू चेंज in India? What would be that one thing that you would change in India? So if I had to answer this question, I would say that if I had a superpower and I could change one thing in India or even the world, let's talk on global platform, I would change poverty, because I believe that every human deserves the right to live under normal circumstances, which is having food and shelter and having clothing. So if poverty is reduced on a global platform or in India, I think that there would be less crime, the crime rate would reduce, people would be more happier, the level of intolerance that sometimes we do get to experience would also reduce. So I believe if I had one superpower, I would make sure that nobody lives under poverty. Every child gets the food that they need, nutritious food on their table. Every adult is able to cater to their children, to their families, with the right food, right shelter, and give them the basic necessities that every human being deserves. So the next question is, which is your favorite dish? So whenever they ask you questions like this, do not just stay by saying one word answers. हमेशा उसको elaborate कीजिए, like whatever dish you like. If you like a certain kind of cuisine, make sure to elaborate why you like it. If you like Chinese, you like Indo-Chinese, make sure you elaborate why you like Indo-Chinese. This is a self-explanatory question. So I'm sure you will know what you like. So just think why you like it to say those 2 points about it. ठीक है? Next question is, what according to you is a noble profession and why? Noble profession according to me is any profession which requires service to the nation, where public service is involved, where people are serving a larger group of people, where the mindset is of service oriented. The reason being that it takes a lot of empathy for one person to be of service to a larger group of people or to be of service to the nation. Okay, so any profession which involves service to a community or to public, according to me, it's a noble profession. Having said this, I do not demean any kind of professions, because I think every profession has its values, every profession has its own importance. But if you are asking me on a personal basis, according to me, I believe that any profession that has public service involved is what, according to me, is a noble profession. Question is, where do you see yourself in 10 years? So whenever they ask you questions like this, just make sure that it's always about growth. Your mindset should always be about growing. You should show them that you are goal oriented. You like to achieve your tasks. You have things in your mind for the next 10 years of your life or next 20 years of your life. It can be on personal front. It can be on professional front as well. But make sure that you have something that showcases that you have an action plan for yourself. You know where you're going. You know what you want to do in your life. You have an aim for in your life. Okay. So this is again self-explanatory, but remember, like 10 years ahead of my life, I would think that I'm going to be here at this position professionally. I think I'm going to be in charge of the cabin. Probably I'll be a cabin senior or a cabin leader. And if you think of something else in your mind, if you think of other stuff, make sure to say it. Even personally, you're thinking of getting married, settling down, and also professionally, you plan to do these things. You plan to improve on your skills so that you can achieve this target. So make sure you specify it, that you know what is your action plan. Next question is, joint family or nuclear family, what would you prefer? इसका मैंने अपने पिछले किसी वीडियो में जवाब दिया है, but I'll still say a short liner on this. Whenever they ask you any question related to compare two things or what you would prefer, it is okay to be honest and say whatever you prefer. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I have a bad throat. If I sound harsh or if I stop in between, I'm very, very sorry. Okay, so if I had to answer this question, I would choose any one. Or there are times when you're not able to choose or make the right choices. Okay, whatever you choose, make sure you give them reasons about it. Okay, if I had to choose, I've always been a part of the nuclear family. I've always lived in a nuclear family. So I have an experience of living in a nuclear family. Now, since I've always been a part of the nuclear family, I would love to experience how it is to live in a joint family. If I had to answer this, probably I would say this. Why? Because I've never had the experience, and I'm somebody who likes to try out new things. I'm somebody who likes to experience new things. So this is something that I've not been a part of. I've not been a part of a family where there are a lot of cousins who are living with you. There are people of different age groups who are living with you. So yes, I've had the opportunity to meet my cousins during festivals and gatherings, but I've never had this opportunity of meeting or of staying with so many people. So if I had to answer this, I would say that I am somebody who likes to experience new things and try out new things every day. And change comes easily to me. So since I've already been a part of a nuclear family, I would love to see how a joint family functions. Next question is, how has COVID impacted your life? You can talk about how it has impacted your life personally if you wish to. Otherwise, I would suggest that always talk about general impacts. Okay, whenever they ask you this as well, just talk about general things that have happened. You know, how people started working from home, how children started doing homeschooling, and how people were staying indoors for this long, and how so many things we got to learn, how travel completely stopped, so many airlines had to shut down, so it impacted economically as well, and a lot of things have happened. There were some good things also. We got more family time, so you can include both those things, whatever you wish to answer. Next question is, what would you prefer, OTT versus theater? So theater is, that kind of thing. जब पहले ज़माने में अगर आपको याद है, so there used to be theater plays. There used to be, ऐसा एक हर सिटी में ऐसे थिएटर्स होते थे जहाँ पे आपको पहले से बुक करनी होती थी टिकट. So you can go and see live theater, live skits happening and all these things. Okay, they can ask you theater. They can ask you about comparing with OTT and TV as well. So whatever you choose, whatever is your preference, you can say about it. If I had to choose, I would choose OTT, which is over the top entertainment. Why? Because it gives me a more personalized feeling. I have an option of choosing what I want to watch specifically, what kind of shows I want to watch, and it is going to be at the comfort of my time. So there would be times when I won't be available at a certain screening time on TV, or probably even when the theater is ongoing. But today, because we are in a fast-paced environment, I would prefer OTT over theater or over TV. Why? Because I have it at the comfort of my hands. I can use it on my phone. I can watch whatever I want to watch on my phone, and whenever I want to watch and whatever I want to watch, it gives me a more personalized feeling. So I would prefer OTT over theater. You can give your suggestion, whatever you wish and whatever you like. Question is, can money buy happiness? So if I had to answer this question, probably I would say that money is also a basic necessity of life, and happiness is much more of a basic necessity in life. You should be happy, every human should be happy. But having said that, I cannot say, or I cannot completely deny this fact that a basic amount of money or a certain amount of money is needed for you to be happy directly or indirectly. It is a requirement, it is a necessity that you cannot ignore, because it could be possible if your basic necessities are not met, if you do not have enough money to meet your basic necessities, somewhere you cannot remain completely happy. So I'm not going to deny this fact that somewhere money is important to be happy. However, I'm not going to say this as well, that just because you have immense money, you're going to always be happy. But these are correlated, and we cannot say that one thing is more important than the other. Both of them are equally important, and the right balance for both is really needed. So I'm going to say that money is also important and happiness is also important. Next question is, how can we save our planet? I believe that charity begins at home. So from your home, when you start with just little things, you don't have to do like very big things, but let's start with just little things, by reducing plastic waste, by segregating waste, by using biodegradable stuff, by using eco-friendly stuff. Let's try and start working on this. If each of us try to take up at least one way of working towards reducing global warming, I think we will somewhere be able to achieve this, and we will try and help in saving our planet. You can do just bit by bit, but each of us has to put in this effort, and each of us has to act responsibility to save our planet. So I think every small bit also counts, and let's start by our home, and let's start doing very little things to make sure that we get there. Next question is, who is your role model? This is a self-explanatory question, but you can talk about, whoever is your role model. It does not need to be a celebrity specifically. It can be any person who has inspired you, who has influenced you, and you have to say it why. Okay, so give your reasons why that person is your role model. What do you think? Why do you look up to that person? Why do you think that this person is your role model? Next question is, did you go to a private school or a government school? And what would you prefer? So this is a self-explanatory question. इसके बारे में मैंने अपने पिछले वीडियोस में भी आंसर किया है, बट अगर मैं एक लाइनर में आंसर करूँ तो I had the opportunity to go to a private school, and what would I prefer? To be honest, I've not been to a government school. However, I believe that the syllabus is pretty much the same, but the infrastructure needs a little bit of improvement. The teaching methods may need a little bit of improvement. And in India, we have to accept this fact that government schools need a little bit of improvement in terms of these factors. And I think in today's generation, the present generation, can work towards making it better. Next question is, have you ever participated at your school or college events? If you have participated in any small event also, please make sure to mention it. Like recently there was Independence Day that happened. If you've participated in that, if you've participated in any of your school functions, in your events, in your fests, make sure to mention it. Even if you were just an organizer, or if you were just taking part in certain events. Okay, very small act also makes a difference, because when you're talking about teamwork, every single person is required. So even if you've done a very small role, if you had a very small part to play in your school, college event, festivals or whatever, please make sure to mention it. All right. Next question is, your greatest achievement. This is again self-explanatory. Whatever achievement you believe is a big achievement for you, make sure to mention it. It can be a very, very small thing. Okay, it can remember that your communication skills are being checked. You doing a very big job does not matter. Your communication skills are being checked. Your personality is being checked. What kind of a personality you are. All right, and make sure that it is okay if it is not you don't have to feel shy that if it is not a big achievement. Next question is, what is the challenge the youth is facing today? So I think the youth today is facing unemployment the most. Most people have their degrees, their master degrees, and so many other qualifications. They are overqualified for jobs, but the population has increased so much that there are lesser jobs and more people. So the demand and supply ratio has kind of changed because of our growing population, and this is one of the biggest challenges we face, because you cannot expect a fresher to have 10 years of experience, and you cannot expect a 21 or a 22-year-old candidate to have about 5 years of experience when that person has just finished their graduation or their education. So this is one of the biggest challenges that we face today. The competition has increased because of this. There are a lot of experienced people also who, in spite of having years of experience, are in the same race that you are in. So somewhere this is the only challenge that this is one of the challenges that we are facing as youth today. And I really wish that we are able to overcome this, and I really wish that everybody gets their dream job. Everybody is able to find the job that they always wanted to get it. Next question is, tell us something about any of the current affairs that are happening in our country. So you can talk about any of the current affairs that are happening in your country. Of course, you don't have to, it's not a government job interview, so you don't have to know everything about the country, but at least basic stuff you can read, you can know about what's happening in the current affairs. You can talk about, the G20 summit that recently happened, how it made India proud. We as Indians felt very proud to host so many countries in our country. You can talk about these events, you can talk about these current affairs. Try to talk about positive stuff, do not include negative stuff, do not include stuff where, not very pleasant things are there. Try to talk about stuff which makes your country proud, it makes you proud as a citizen of India. Next question is, do you like traveling? This is again a self-explanatory question. However, because it's a cabin crew interview job role and you are going to be traveling a lot if you become a cabin crew, I'm assuming, and you also must be aware that your answer should be yes. Alright, so you must say, I would say that you like traveling, you love traveling, you like exploring places, you like meeting new people, you like interacting with new people, you like getting to know different kinds of cultures in different countries, in different cities. People live in different ways, people talk in different languages, and you're open to these kind of changes. So you must know, you must like traveling, in my opinion. All right. Next question is a cabin crew's job all about having good fashion sense and having a good lifestyle? This is a kind of a tricky question. Remember that a cabin crew's job is not just limited to being fashionable or having a good lifestyle or having a very lavish lifestyle. Yes, these are all the perks that come along with the job, but remember, what is your main responsibility as a cabin crew? It's to take care of every person who's on board. You are responsible for every single person who's there with you on your flight. You have to make sure that every person who is on your flight comes back again, flies with your airline again. These are your basic responsibilities. You have to make sure that every person who's in the aircraft with you at that moment is satisfied with all the customer services that you provide to them. Question is, are you a TV person or a mobile person? This is self-explanatory. Again, it is very similar to OTT and theater. So whatever you are, whatever kind of a person you are, make sure you give your answers and make sure that you describe why you are a certain kind of a person. Like for me personally, I would prefer using my phone over watching TV, because I have it on the go. I can watch whatever I want to watch on my phone on the go, wherever I am and at whatever time at my convenience. So I'm more of a phone person. Next question is, tell me about your educational background. Whatever you have studied, whether you're just 10+2 or whether you've completed your graduation, you've completed your masters, whatever you have studied, talk about it, why you chose to take up that career, why you chose to take up a certain subject, why you did not choose a certain subject. You could talk about these topics, okay? Talk about at least 1 or 2 lines. If they stop you in between, it's okay, but you prepare accordingly that you have to talk at least for 30-40 seconds on any topic that is given to you. If they stop you in between, stop. But if not, always prepare these answers at least so that you're able to talk for 30, 40, 50 seconds at least. Alright. Next question is, talk about electric vehicles. Do you think India is ready? I think yes, we are ready, and I also think it's one of the most sustainable means to going forth for our future generations in the years to come. I have made a sample answer in one of my previous videos as well. You can have a look at it. Otherwise, if you still do not find that video or you do not find that answer, let me know in the comment section and I'll write it and give it to you. Next question is, what do you know about artificial intelligence? I have made a sample answer on this as well in one of my previous videos. If you do not find it, let me know and I'll write it in the comment section for you. इसके बाद है next question, discuss about social media. What do you think? Is it a boon or a bane? I have discussed about this also in one of my videos, but if I have to give you a one-liner about it, I think if you use it in the right ways, it is a boon. If you do not use it in the right ways, if you misuse social media, it can be a bane. Knowing a lot of things about current affairs, knowing about even this job interview, knowing about or connecting socially with people, connecting socially for job purposes as well, social media has played a very important part in today's generation. In fact, even to talk about COVID, social media played a very, very big part in keeping people connected in spite of the fact that we were all locked up in our houses. However, if you do not use it in the right ways, if you misuse it, it can be a big, big no-go for us in our society. So it just totally depends on how you look at it. Next question is, how to de-stress after irregular working hours as a cabin crew? Well, if I had to answer this question, it is also similar to how to handle stress. I have answered it in one of my previous videos. However, if I have to still answer it, I would say that every job role has a lot of responsibilities, whether it's of a cabin crew or whether it's any other profession. We do have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of duties are involved, and there could be times where it could get stressful. Everybody has their ways of managing stress. Now, let's talk specifically about cabin crew's job role because there's a lot of irregularities. We do not have the same timings of the flight. Every day is a different day. There are times when you are having breakfast at a place, dinner in some other place. Your whole time frame has changed where you're waking up in the night and having your first coffee or tea. So it could be stressful sometimes because your normal circadian rhythm does get disturbed. So everybody has their means and I have my own. I try to meditate as much as I can. On days when I have my off, I try to normalize my time schedules in comparison to the other people. This question is, talk about public transport or private transport. What would you prefer? Whatever you prefer, talk about it. I have made a video, an answer on this also in one of my previous videos. Whatever you prefer, you can talk about it. I'm not going to go too much in detail, नहीं तो video बहुत लंबा हो जाएगा. Next question is, which clothes would you prefer? Would you prefer stylish clothes or formal clothes? This again is self-explanatory. According to me, if I had to answer this question, I would prefer dressing according to the occasion. I'm open to change. I'm open to dressing up according to the occasion. So if I am going to a very casual setting, if I'm going for a casual meeting with friends, with family, I would prefer casual clothing. If I am out on a professional outing, probably if I'm at work or if I'm going for a meeting, I would obviously prefer a formal way of dressing. It totally depends on the people who I'm meeting and the people who I am going to be with for that duration. तो आज के इस वीडियो में बस इतना ही. अगर आपको ये वीडियो इन्फॉर्मेटिव लगा तो आप इसको लाइक कर सकते हैं, मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर सकते हैं. अगर आपने भी कोई रिसेंटली कैबिन क्रू इंटरव्यू में पार्ट लिया है एंड अगर आप भी कुछ क्वेश्चंस जानते हैं तो प्लीज़ डू शेयर इट इन द कमेंट सेक्शन बिलो. जस्ट लाइक यू, अ लॉट ऑफ अदर पीपल कुड ऑल्सो गेन सम हेल्प आउट ऑफ इट. Thank you very much for your time. Until next time, goodbye.